The coronavirus, still called COVID-19, these silent enemies everywhere. The handles of the doors of our houses, our offices, the handles of the doors of the vehicles we board, our cutleries, our working instruments, computer keyboards, without forgetting our mobile phones. The coronavirus also makes use of the propensity of our society's own tactile effusion to spread to the entire community. The changing situation in Cameroon forced new maneuvers, and the Cameroonian government, like many other countries affected by the virus, has taken a step forward by implementing drastic measures communicated by the Prime Minister, Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Gouteh, on March 17, 2020, under the instructions of the head of state. These measures will affect our daily lives, as announced by the President of the Republic in his tweet on March 17, 2020. They range from the closure of borders and schools, to the regulated closure of bars and snacks, to the postponement of competitions, and to the suspension of the issuance of visas.
It should be noted, however, that so far no local outbreaks of this epidemic have been recorded in Cameroon, and the cases identified so far are persons who have recently been abroad. However, in the face of what appears now to be a global health crisis, the measures taken so far deserve to be strengthened to prevent the spread of this virus in our country.
It was in this spirit and following an interministerial meeting to evaluate the actions taken in the fight against the expansion of the coronavirus, chaired by the Prime Minister on March 24, 2020, that the Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of Defense, Betty Asomo Joseph, in his ministerial department, reviewed the evaluation of internal measures taken by various components of the defense and security forces to harmonize and coordinate strategies to combat the coronavirus pandemic on March 26, 2020. The Ministry of Defense, therefore, takes the threat very seriously, both in the central services, likewise the functioning of schools and training centers. Everyone goes there in their own way to fight the virus. Strict hygiene measures are observed, and there may be a change in attitudes and behavior. This is the social distance in motion.
This workshop falls in line with the measures put in place by the Prime Minister and Head of Government on the very high instructions of the Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Paul Biya, within the framework of the prevention and fight against coronavirus in Cameroon and the defense and security forces in particular.
Le coronavirus au Cameroun, particulièrement au sein des forces de défense et de sécurité.
The Ministry of Defense, therefore, takes the threat very seriously, both in the central services, likewise the functioning of schools and training centers. Everyone goes there in their own way to fight the virus. Strict hygiene measures are observed, and there may be a change in attitudes and behavior. This is the social distance in motion.
That you have to, and you know, they have psychological aspect of the problem. If they don't know how to manage, if they are not protected, they cannot go and save. So we have to sensibilize them, to teach them. We have to, what we say, to give them morale. Because they need the morale now. It's the fight. But be sure, we are Cameroonian army. We are ready. We have some equipment. We are waiting other things to be well prepared and to be ready for this fight.
Basic measures as prescribed by the Ministry of Public Health are scrupulously applied here and there to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Hands are washed with soap and water. a gesture to trivialize, a lifestyle to adopt. It is simplistic to say that in view of the unpredictability, the omnipresence and the equity of danger, however, washing your hands is far from negligible. It is clear that our hands are the main points of contact with our environment and, if necessary, the main vehicles of any contamination. In addition, physical contact should be reduced in compliance with health measures in the services. Compliance with these measures is also observed at the operational level.
The driver have to go to the control post with the document, but he has to go firstly to the wash hand, mobile wash hand basin, and wash his hand before getting to the control post where gendarmes is protected by a roof.
For a supposedly relative effectiveness of the precautionary measures imposed by public authorities, it is of utmost importance and even of salvation to observe these measures strictly and to promote their implementation on a daily basis, because in this fight to the death against a sneaky, blind and particularly intrusive enemy, the common sense of behavior should prevail over reason.